Alright, today guys I'm going to be vulnerable with you for a minute. I'm going to tell you the story of how starting my own business saved my life. Most of you know if you read my blog, my story a little bit, but a quick recap is about 6 years ago, my father admitted to me that he was, his words, inappropriate with me when I was a child. And that completely shattered my entire world. I was already dealing with depression and anxiety, but I was maintaining it, and I was starting to learn how to live with it. But little did I know that I kind of knew this fact in my body and in the back of my mind. And him sitting me down and telling me to my face I was no longer able to live in my world of denial anymore. So my mental health took a crash course for the worst. And I had to quit my job that I was at because I was crying every day over the smallest things. I just couldn't keep it in. And you really can't work at a sales job, customer facing, if your face is red and puffy from crying all the time. And it was just a matter of time. My performance was dwindling. I wasn't in it as powerful as I was before. So I quit my job to go work with my mom in her cleaning service. And as part of my need to change, need to get out, try to fix how I'm feeling, I decided a few months after working with my mom that I wanted to buy a house. And working with my mom, I was an independent contractor. For mortgage companies, you need to have at least 2 years worth of business behind you before they'll consider your independent contractor work as viable, so they wouldn't count my income. And we could barely afford anything on the single income from my husband. So in order to buy a house that I felt would fix everything and I would be fine once I got out of that house and just had that behind me. That was the mindset that I had, that once I buy a house and I own a house and I have it, then everything's going to be better. Didn't work out like that. So fast forward, I get a job, the first one that I can get, at a call center. The actual job was fine, but the environment of having to talk to that many people that are upset every day, I've always said ever since that job, if you love abuse, then you should go work at a call center. Because the people calling you aren't happy. They're calling you because there's a problem. And most of the time it's a problem that you can't fix or you have nothing to do with, but they're going to yell at you anyway. And with my already fragile mental state, this was not a very good environment for me to be in. And I eventually went into what they call a fugue state. I disassociated with my entire life. There was a point where I knew that my husband was my husband, but it didn't feel real. It felt like I was living a dream, that everything around me was a dream and I would wake up eventually. But the worst part about that is that I couldn't wake up because this was reality, this was my life, and disconnecting from everything was starting to weigh on me as well, because humans are social creatures. They need to connect to people, to feel connected to the earth, to feel real, to know that everything's going to be okay. We need to connect to other people, whether that's family, friends, or the family that you create. We just need to connect, and I was unable to connect because I was disassociating from my entire life. And because I was in that state for months, it wasn't just, hey, I would be in this state for about an hour, snap out of it, and everything would be okay. I was in the state constantly for months. And being in the state where you cannot connect with anybody will lead anybody to feel like that they don't want to be here anymore, that they would just rather end their life than live like that anymore. And that's where I was. I was starting to plan my own suicide. And when I thought about that I was actually planning it, thankfully there was a shock to my system, and I realized that I could not do that to my husband. I could not be the cause of anguish to my husband. I just couldn't do it. So I sought help. I found a place locally that is a nonprofit that provides counseling for those who are sexual assault survivors. And I was able to get help that way because at the current state I couldn't really afford it. And through counseling, my counselor urged me to quit my job, to find another avenue of employment, because that job, that environment was wearing on my mental health. And I wasn't able to grow. I wasn't able to heal because I was in an environment that was detrimental to my mental health. So, taking after my mother, I decided to start a cleaning service. I knew that it was a needed service in my area. I knew it was viable because I watched my mother grow her business when I was younger. She had her business for over 25 years. I knew that I could create it by following her example, and she could be my mentor. So after I decided this, I started saving money. I saved up 3 months worth of bills. I paid off my car, and then once I paid off my car, I quit my job. I had the savings to fall back on for 3 months. I gave myself 3 months to make this work. And I had a week left in that 3 months of that savings, and I finally got all of the clients that I needed to live off of my business. And within weeks of starting my business, my mental health started to improve because I was in an environment that I created. I made sure that environment was healthy. I made sure that environment would not eat away at my mental health. And because I created this new environment that was healthy and that would help me grow, and that I grew a business, me, I'm nobody. I felt like if I could grow a business to the point where I could live off of it, anybody can do this. And everyone should, if that's what their dream is. If they want to create their own environment so that they can be healthy, create your own business so you can create that environment, because it's really hard to find an environment that's healthy for growth, especially for somebody who's suffering from mental health, who's suffering from depression and anxiety, especially if that's due to trauma. It's really hard to find a place that will understand and help you grow through that trauma and heal from that trauma. So I created my own environment with my business. And because I chose to create an environment that would help me grow, that would help me heal, I started to finally heal after a year and a half of suffering from what was told to me from my trauma of my childhood. I was suffering from it because I couldn't heal, because I was not in the correct environment to heal. And once I got into a good environment, I was able to heal, and I was able to get to a place where I could start to connect again. After just a few weeks of being in a stable environment, I was able to connect again. I was able to feel love again. I was able to feel all the feelings again, good and bad, because being numb and being disassociated from everything is one of the worst things that I have ever felt. Especially being stuck in it for months. So I ask you, what's your environment like? Is it helping you grow? Is it detrimental to you? Is it chipping away at your mental health? Are you able to grow and heal in the environment that you're in? If not, I encourage you to take a look at your environment. Take a look at the people that you are around and see how you can change it so that you can grow and so that you can heal from it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos to help and support you through this time of battling with your anxiety and your depression. And as always, you can contact me on my Facebook page and also on the Contact Us page on thebutterfliesproject.com. And remember that you are not alone, and I appreciate you.